Getting every single achievement in Red Dead Redemption didn't make me a better gamer, it actually made me a worse human being. There is an achievement called Dastardly that requires you to hog-tie a woman, place her on train tracks, and stand there watching until the train destroys her. I earned it without hesitation because when I finally got to doing it, I was already a violent outlaw and killer.
I can't remember when I've had a more pleasant day.
And somewhere between dragging nuns toward railroad spikes and robbing people, I realized this wasn't just an annoying completionist checklist, this was the game forcing me to live in its world and experience every ugly corner of it.
Holy sweet mother of mercy. They burnt the place down, killed the men, burning most of them alive, and raped the women. Women folk then got their throats slit.
Red Dead Redemption came out in 2010 and I played it as a kid. Back then I finished the story, rode around for a while causing chaos, but eventually put it down, not quite realizing what a masterpiece it was and how much inspiration it took from classic spaghetti western movies. Coming back to it years later with the goal of 100% completion was a different experience entirely. The campaign achievements were the easiest part because you simply have to play the story for them, which is easily done since this game has an incredible story to tell. That government boy achievement pops for completing Exodus in America and you barely notice because the story is just so damn good. John Marston's arc through New Austin and into Mexico is one of the most tragic things Rockstar has ever written.
People don't forget. Nothing gets forgiven.
They took the violence and moral complexity of spaghetti westerns and translated that directly into the game's story and gameplay without pulling any punches. In my opinion, Rockstar basically made a Sergio Leone film that you could play, full of all the brutality and consequences that came with those movies. One of the earliest achievements I picked up was Clemency Pace, capture a bounty alive. Simple on paper, but in practice it meant riding out into the desert, tracking a target through canyon passes, and making the active decision not to put a bullet in their skull when they started shooting back, which is extremely hard because killing people feels so damn satisfying in this game. The lasso is the most important tool in your kit for this. Deadeye makes headshots so much fun, but keeping someone alive requires restraint. You ride up, kill everyone in camp except the bounty, hogtie them, and spend the next 5 minutes riding back to town with them squirming on the back of your horse like a landed fish.
Here's your payment.
The achievement itself is pretty easy. Capture one bounty alive, done. But bounties are repeatable and the game keeps serving them up in every town. What starts as a single achievement becomes almost addicting because of how fun they are. Ride out at dawn, track the target, decide who lives and who doesn't. You become judge, jury, and executioner while chewing tobacco like a real man.
Too bad you have to die.
What I love most about this game is how it understands that violence in westerns was never just about the action, it was about what violence does to people. Leone's films showed gunslingers as damaged, desperate men living in a world where killing was just business as usual and an almost daily occurrence.
I thought you were supposed to protect us, Marshal. You folk ain't men. You ain't nothing. You're just a man on a government payroll taking money that the rest of us have to pay for with our lives. What is wrong with this country?
Dastardly is probably one of the best known achievements in this game. Place a hog-tied woman on train tracks and witness her death by train. It's arguably the most infamous achievement in any Rockstar game. Not because it's difficult, but because it asks you to do something genuinely monstrous for no narrative reason. But goddamn, it's fun as hell and makes you feel so damn evil. There is no on a penalty, no wanted level or narrative consequence. It makes you the monster and I love it for that.
Oh my god! Wow!
What's brilliant about the violence in Red Dead Redemption is how it starts feeling more and more depressing as it goes on, to a point where eventually you just become numb to it, barely noticing it. Early in the game, you might feel badass riding into town and shooting up a gang. By the end, after hours of killing, the violence starts to feel hollow and exhausting.
Hey, gringo! ¿Hablas español?
No, sir.
Saludos, amigo. It's not smart to go wandering so far from home.
Now, I appreciate the welcome committee, but I'd hate to spoil a beautiful afternoon on such beautiful land.
I don't think it's nice you laughing.
Bullseye asks for 250 headshots in any game mode. That sounds like a lot, and it is a lot until you realize the game gives you Deadeye, a mechanic that literally slows time and lets you obliterate dozens of targets all at once. What makes Bullseye interesting isn't the number, it's how the achievement changes the way you approach every gunfight. Before I was going for it, I played gunfights like a normal person, shoot the closest threat, take cover, survive. After Bullseye became a goal, every encounter turned into me basically causing massacres. The way the game handles death is very spaghetti western. Characters don't get heroic death with inspiring final words. They get shot and they die, often suddenly, and it feels shocking. The achievement pops somewhere around the halfway point of your total playtime if you're naturally good at aiming. By the time I finished everything else, I had well over 250 without ever grinding for it. The game molds you into a killer and doesn't even pretend otherwise.
And if you won't manage it, you'll die. Only slowly.
He cleans up well requires obtaining the elegant suit, which is the easiest achievement in the whole game. You literally simply got to buy it from a tailor and bam. Not only do you get an achievement for it, you're also looking nice and dandy now and you can cheat easily at poker.
I'm your huckleberry.
John Marston is basically Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name if he tried to retire and failed. He's trying to leave his violent past behind, forced back into it by circumstances beyond his control. That's the setup of every great spaghetti western. Men who want to be done with killing, dragged back in for one last job. The difference is Red Dead makes you participate in that cycle. Every mission where John says he's doing this to protect his family, you're the one pulling the trigger. The game puts the moral weight on you in ways a movie can't.
I had a daughter, but she died. Years before that, I rode in a gang. We robbed banks, trains, held people ransom. We killed people we didn't like.
I'm gonna give this life up to be a singer. Take the money and let me live.
No! Angeline!
Red Dead Redemption feels like a love letter to the Western genre and a farewell to the Old West at the same time. It captures that fading era with a kind of honesty and respect that's rare in games. There's no glamorizing or polishing it up. It feels rough and real, like a world heading towards its final chapter. It's a game that understands atmosphere better than almost anything else out there, and that's why it's so legendary. Between every achievement, between every checklist item, there were hours of nothing. Riding across the map with no destination, standing on a ridge watching the sky turn orange and gold while the ambient soundtrack drifted through the speakers. There is a loneliness to Red Dead Redemption that no other open world game captures. The map is vast and mostly empty, but that emptiness is extremely atmospheric. What I always come back to is how the game handles violence. It's slow, brutal, and heavy. When John shoots someone, it feels almost sickening because of how well the animations are done. I mean, people can bleed out, crawl away from you, or try to make a last stand. Even though you're usually just shooting nameless NPCs, it feels much more consequential and violent than shooting someone in a game like Call of Duty.
Intruder! Take cover!
You want more? I'm bleeding to death.
Playing Red Dead Redemption today feels like loading up an old VHS tape you found buried in a box. The visuals are dated, the mechanics show their age, but none of that matters because it's a timeless classic and masterpiece and will always be one of the greatest games and experiences ever made.
I'm here to capture or kill Bill Williamson.
He is perhaps the most dangerous man who ever lived.